What if Naruto had the Rinnegan Part 9? While Naruto and Sakura are visiting Sasuke after his loss to Gaara, the nurse tells him he only had a few broken ribs and a bruised bone in his arm. He should be okay to leave within the next month after some rest and proper treatment. Sasuke, who was still in a bit of pain after the anaesthetics, smiles at Naruto and Sakura, telling them he won't miss their fights and Naruto better beat Gaara. Naruto gives a smirk and tells Sasuke he'll beat him for both of them. And all three of them share a very good laugh, knowing that Naruto would wipe the floor with anyone at the exam. After they leave, Sakura tells Naruto that she's going to go and ask Kurenai for some genjutsu training, and that the next time they see each other will be in the finals of the exam. Naruto smiles, thankful that Sakura is really taking her training seriously, and vows to her that they will have a good fight for the right to be Chunin. After this, Sakura runs off to find Kurenai, while Naruto heads to the middle of the forest to practice with his Rinnegan abilities, and maybe come up with some new jutsu while he's there. He begins by going over his main powers and jutsu, which is the abilities granted by the Deva Path. Naruto tries to focus and gain more mastery over it by starting with a large rock, pulling it towards him, then pushing it away, then moving on to a bigger rock, so on and so forth, until he gets to a large tree that was rooted into the ground. He could feel the resistance from the roots as he was pulling, and pulled harder and harder before it ripped out of the ground, then having to think quickly pushing it away. Naruto smiled to himself and made 20 shadow clones, knowing that this is exactly what he needs. He needs to do resistance training. Over the next few hours, Naruto and his clones basically made, a new training field. They changed the landscape. He even uses his abilities to fill the holes in with the dirt that gets ripped out, repairing some of the damage. As he was training, however, he could tell he was being watched by someone, but he didn't recognise the chakra signature. Naruto turned round and looked towards a tree, seeing a tall man with a long white mane standing there looking at him. The man walks over to Naruto and holds his hand up, showing that he wasn't any kind of threat. Then Naruto sees the man's headband and instantly realises who this is. A member of the legendary signing, Lord Jiraiya. Naruto bows in respect, but Jiraiya laughs, telling Naruto not to do that. Well, not yet. Naruto gets confused by the not yet part, but Jiraiya continues, telling Naruto that he's trained someone before with a Rinnegan, and he grew to be a very powerful shinobi, and he didn't even start off as a ninja. So he is probably the only person alive who can help him master his abilities. So if Naruto accepts, then Jiraiya will personally train him on his other abilities. Naruto accepts instantly. I mean, like you said, he's the only one who has seen the Rinnegan in action. Well, that's alive anyway. Jiraiya smiles and tells Naruto that they will go to the mountains to train. I think there's already enough damage done to the forest, don't you? Naruto looks a bit sheepish, but agrees, and they make their way to the peak of the mountain. Jiraiya asks Naruto how much he knows about his own powers, and Naruto explains to Jiraiya that he has some level of control over the forces of attraction and repulsion, and to some extent can take chakra away from others, but with Kuruma's help, his powers become stronger. Jiraiya raises an eyebrow and asks who Kuruma is, and Naruto, realising that no one else actually knows that's the real name of the Nine-Tails, And he's not as bad as everyone makes out. He's my friend. Jiraiya is dumbfounded to hear this, and asks if he has used the 9 Kuruma's chakra a lot. But Naruto shakes his head, telling Jiraiya that the seal restricts his power too much, and only really comes out when Naruto himself or Kuruma is angry. Jiraiya thinks about this for a fair few minutes, and asks for Naruto to put him under a genjutsu, so he can talk to Kuruma himself directly. Naruto closes his eyes and asks Kuruma if that's okay. Kuruma tells Naruto that if he trusts the old man, then he trusts Naruto's judgment, so why not? Naruto wouldn't put him in any harm. Naruto opens his eyes in the real world and looks directly into Jiraiya's eyes, putting him in direct contact with Kuruma. Jiraiya was a fairly bit scared of Kuruma, but either way, he needs to get out of the way. He asks Kuruma why he helps Naruto, and Kuruma, a bit gruffly, answers by saying that Naruto is special, and he believes in the world he wants to create, and someday it will be that way. Jiraiya smiles and says that he was thinking the same thing. I think Naruto may be the true child of prophecy. The child destined to bring peace and connect everyone in the world. Kuruma smiles knowing that this is the case, due to him being the reincarnation of Ashura, who has his father's will. Kuruma doesn't tell this to Jiraiya, but it's clear to Jiraiya that the Nine Tails really does believe in Naruto, and really wants to help. That's good enough for him. Jiraiya tells Kuruma to listen to what he says to Naruto, as it pertains to you as well. Kuruma looks confused, but nods nevertheless. And Jiraiya breaks out of the mindscape, then tells Naruto that the seal that contains the Nine Tails has a key, but at the moment he doesn't have access to it. So he will teach Naruto the 5-pronged seal, which will help loosen the seal that Minato put on. Jiraiya shows Naruto this technique, and is again shocked when Naruto copies it perfectly the first time. Jiraiya then tells Naruto to lift his shirt and place his fingers on the seal that presents itself while using your chakra. Naruto does as instructed, and then he gets told to turn his hand counterclockwise. The moment he does, Naruto can feel his connection to Kuruma and his chakra skyrocket. And to show that it worked, Naruto uses Kuruma's chakra and pushes it into his eyes, gaining 3 Tomoe each, 1 for each tail that he can access. Again, absolutely speechless. I mean, they've only been training for a couple of hours, and Naruto knows the 5-pronged seal and can use a lot more of Kuruma's chakra. And most of that time was spent walking to the mountain. So they decide to give Naruto's newfound eyes a test and get into a taijutsu bout. No jutsu used at all. After a few minutes, both Jiraiya and Naruto come to see what this new ocular evolution does. Well, base anyway, without using any abilities. Naruto with these eyes has some form of precognition, able to see roughly 2/10 of a second ahead of time. Basically the 3 Tomoe Sharingan on crack. Because while you can confuse a Sharingan by doing something completely different than what you're going to, with the Rinnegan you are pretty much seeing through time at this point. However, it is extremely taxing to maintain, so Naruto should only use this when against an opponent who has a serious speed advantage on him, or someone who's very unpredictable. After the training session is over, Jiraiya tells Naruto what he knows about the other paths of the Rinnegan. A user of the Rinnegan can heal from any injury short of death by using the King of Hell, even using it on other people. They can summon different kinds of animals apart from the normal summons. I'll teach you how to use that jutsu soon. You can also take people's chakra, which you already have some basic understanding of, and also being able to weaponize your own body and even grow extra limbs if necessary. Naruto's eyes grow wide, thinking about all this information and all the abilities that he has access to that he would have never even thought about. Jiraiya laughs seeing Naruto's face again and decides to show him the summoning jutsu to start with. This time he doesn't get him to sign the scroll, as he doesn't know what would happen if Naruto tried with the Rinnegan. They'd have to find out off Ma and Pa told later. After this, Naruto tries the jutsu, and he summons a 3-headed dog, a giant chameleon, and a big bastard bird. Still being a kid, Naruto jumps onto the bird and goes for a fly around, laughing while riding about and going as high into the sky as his lungs would let him, astonished by the view and even more the huge amount of potential that's inside of him. Naruto descends back to the floor with Jiraiya and asks what's next, but Kurama tells Naruto to get some rest first of all. He doesn't want to waste all his chakra on the first date, really, does he? They find a small cave to sleep in and talk about the other paths and ways they could be used in battle. The next morning, they begin working on Naruto's other abilities, with Naruto finding the Ashura path being the hardest to grasp, which I'm sure many people would find hard to understand. Growing extra limbs is a bit hard to wrap their heads around, especially when you realise that you can literally make a rocket launcher from your arm. However, after he gets all of these abilities down, not all of them, because there's some that Jiraiya doesn't even know about yet, and is able to use the King of Hell to its fullest extent, Jiraiya puts Naruto through some really harsh training. Some sessions are enough to even nearly kill him. And every session, Naruto tries to use even more of Kurama's chakra, gaining more little by little, now being able to use 4 tails without anything clouding his mind whatsoever. By anything I do mean Kurama's innate hatred, even though he doesn't want to control Naruto in this timeline. After the month is over, Naruto had new clothes after them being shredded, based on Jiraiya's, but keeping some of his own orange and adding a bit of purple for his eyes. Well, to show his eyes more, because, Rinnegan. I'm sorry, I wish I was a good enough artist to draw what I have in my mind. If someone manages, please send it, and I will use it as a thumbnail. Jiraiya tells Naruto that during the final exam, he will be watching as well, so he better do well. Naruto laughs and tells him that with all the training, there's no way he was going to lose. Jiraiya beams proudly over his newest student, and before he goes home, tells him there is another jutsu he wants to teach him, but he will only learn it if he beats the exam and becomes a chunin. Naruto shoots a thumbs up and summons his bird, flying back to the village and jumping off, landing bang in the middle of the arena, ready to take out his first opponent, Neji Hyuga. Let me know how you felt about this part and the series as a whole. I do realise it's mostly just a setup, but after all, the 1 month training is kind of a setup for the next arc, innit? But if you liked it, consider subscribing, and while you're at it, you might as well hit the tiny bell, so you know when I'm going to upload next. But with that being said, I'll see you later. Bye.